Flight Lieutenant French, killed in action, August 1944, aged 21. Flight Lieutenant French is the subject of a web project which I've developed over the past year on behalf of Roger Brawn. Roger is a good friend of mine, is a very good jazz guitarist, so we have something in common there. He took early retirement from the European Commission. He was a solicitor by profession. He also owns with his wife a property in Clarbec, it's in France. This Clarbec is the village where Flight Lieutenant French died. He'd been doing a sortie over France with his crew in a Lancaster bomber. They were hit by enemy fire, and it wasn't possible to return to base. He managed to stabilise the plane whilst all the crew members managed to bail out, but he remained at the controls and crashed into a field on a farm in Clarbec. Exactly why he didn't get out of the plane or bailed out himself, who knows? It's not a question you can really answer. Almost immediately, the farmer, in fact, set up a memorial using a propeller from the crashed aircraft. The crew members, some escaped, some were taken prisoner. There were a diverse lot. One was from Canada and others from different parts of the UK. There is a good deal of documentation on the website showing action reports, material from prisoner of war camps, even, believe it or not, Roger has actually found the delivery note from the company who manufactured the Lancaster bomber and delivered it to the airports, which is really quite extraordinary. A good deal of material has emerged. Roger organised a commemoration in 2024 in Clarbec, where descendants of the crew members came, some from Canada, from the UK, and there was a formal celebration with religious service and parades and celebrations where a more permanent memorial was set up. Yeah, it's been a very interesting project for me. I really do like to feel an affinity with the work I'm doing on a particular website, and certainly in this case I did feel an affinity. I remember when I was in my late teens and still training in the RAF, and just outside the base there was a very small military cemetery, very small, probably no more 50 graves, if that. And I remember walking around actually and looking at the gravestones, and it was incredibly saddening to see that the majority of the people interned there were actually 22, 21, and in some cases even younger. There was also situated outside the perimeter of the particular training school where I was attending, there was actually a decommissioned, not quite derelict, but almost derelict Lancaster bomber. And I remember climbing into it and climbing up to the cockpit, and you really got a feeling of the confined space in this aircraft, and with a little imagination you can imagine what it must have been like to be over France at that time in essentially a metal tube, and people trying to kill you, shooting at you, the fighter aircraft or ground anti-aircraft guns. Absolutely appalling. And when you think these guys just didn't do it once, but they went on, some of them on many sorties, and as they flew out there was absolutely no guarantee whatsoever in fact they were going to return to their air base. A bit of a statutory lesson, certainly for me in these times, when we do complain about this and that, and when you think about the sacrifice of these individuals. Please check out the website. There's a link listed below which contains the narrative and a good deal of interesting documentation. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please subscribe.